welcome to our podcast. So today we are going to talk about the global supply chain crisis from 2020 to 2023 and how it affected international finance and global trade. I am Nordiani, your host for today, and with me are my amazing team members, which is Oliver, Donald, Shalvena, and Nazira. Say hi to them. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Alright, let's start. Oliver,
Yes.
many people hear the term of supply chain crisis. But what does it actually mean?
Okay. Thanks, Ms. Nordiani. So basically, a supply chain crisis happens when goods cannot move smoothly from producers to consumers. Okay. So basically, during 2020 till 2023, there's a crisis that started because of COVID-19. Many countries implemented a lockdown, which caused factories to be closed, workers to be stayed home, and ports to reduce their operations. Now, countries like China, United States, and Germany were heavily affected by this lockdown because they are majorly manufacturing and trading countries, essentially. Countries like when productions stop, items like semiconductors, car parts, and electronics, and also even medical supplies become limited.
Okay, so basically, when one country stops producing, the whole world feels the impact.
Yes, exactly. The world is very connected. If China slows down their production, this can cause other countries that depend on Chinese parts to also slow down.
That shows how globalization really works or fails, right? Alright, thank you, Oliver. So now we'll move to our next member, Donald. Alright, Donald. Oliver already explained what happened, but what actually caused the crisis to become so serious?
Okay, Nordiani, that's a good question. To put it simply, imagine the global economy is like a big machine. For the machine to run smoothly, all the parts have to work together. Between 2022 and 2023, several things broke at the same time and the machine just stopped. Let me give you some causes why this crisis happened. The first one, our factories shut down. When COVID-19 hit, countries told everyone to stay home. That meant factories in places like China and Vietnam had to close. When factories close, nothing get made. So, right from the start, there were fewer goods like cars, phones, and clothes being produced. Second, shipping got stuck. Think of the world ports like highway tolls. During the crisis, too many ships arrived at the same time and there were not enough workers to unload them. Ships had to wait for weeks to park. On top of that, there was a shortage in shipping containers. The containers were stuck on ships or in the wrong countries. So even if products were made, they were just sitting on a boat, unable to reach the stores. And the third one, the semiconductor shortage. There were many industries like automotive and electronics depends on chips. When the chips were limited, the car production dropped.
Yeah, I remember our car prices increasing during that time.
Yes, exactly. And another factor which was geopolitical tensions, like the trade conflict between the United States and China and the Russia-Ukraine war in 2022. These issues disrupted energy and commodity supply. So it wasn't just one problem, it was multiple problems happening at the same time.
So it's like a domino effect, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Donald. Now let's connect this to our subject, which is international finance. So, Shalviana, can you explain to us how did this crisis affect financial systems?
Thank you, Nordiani. The crisis affected international finance in many ways. First, trade deficit increased. Countries had to import goods at higher prices. Second, exchange rates become unstable. When export decreased, countries earn less foreign currency. This affected their currency risk.
So basically, when export falls, the currency weakens, right?
Yes, especially for export-dependent countries. Third, inflation can increase globally because supply was limited but demand was high. Prices of goods like cars and electronics increased. To control inflation, many central banks increased interest rates.
Which then affected business and loans, right?
Exactly. Higher interest rates made borrowing more expensive, which slowed down investment and economic growth. Also, multinational companies changed their strategy. Many adopted the China Plus One strategy, meaning they moved part of their production to other countries like Vietnam or Malaysia to reduce risk.
Alright, that shows how finance and supply chains are closely connected. Thank you, Shalviana, for your explanation. Now we move to the next part. Alright, Nazira, after everything that happened, what lesson can we learn from this crisis?
Thank you, Nordiani. So, after everything that happened, what are the main lesson that we can take from this crisis? The first one is countries and companies should really do much on just one country for production. I mean, we saw what happened during the pandemic. Once that one country was affected, everything got delayed. So the second one is companies need better risk management. They should have a backup suppliers, emergency plan, and a stronger financial planning. Not just focusing on profit, but also on preparation for unexpected situation. And the last one is governments should invest more in digital system and better logistic infrastructure. If a system are more digital and efficient, delays can be reduced and information can move faster. That's all.
So basically, we need a more flexible and diversified supply chain.
Yes, exactly, Noriani. Honestly, after everything that happened, it's clear that the global supply chain really need to be stronger and more flexible. We can just depend on the same system and hope nothing goes wrong again, right? And I think its international cooperation is super important too. Countries can handle global crisis alone. They need to work together to keep financial systems stable and make sure global trade keep moving.
Alright, thank you, Nazira, for your explanation. And that's all from us. Actually, thank you everyone for your cooperation to explain to us more details about this topic. And to conclude, the global supply chain crisis from 2020 to 2023 started as a health crisis, but it quickly became an economic and financial crisis. It affected global trade, exchange rates, inflation, and investment decisions, which this crisis reminded us how interconnected the world really is, right? Okay, so we hope this podcast help you understand the relationship between supply chain and international finance. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in our next podcast. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.